Hello. It's overcast at night tonight. There, we held on a little bit, hoping we could get some clear skies for a sky watch, but no, we are doing an alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would put the message, hello, is anybody else out there? Or if you're going by recent studies, maybe it's the help. Our civilization is on its way out, or something along those lines there. But yes, as the night moves on there, the Earth will rotate, and our dish is going to sweep across the night sky, passing over various stars and their exoplanets around those stars. Hopefully one of them is going to have a inhabited civilization there that's going to be sending us a signal, and if so, we'll see it down on these charts around here, because this frequency, I said, is the hydrogen line, and that is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize that is where we're most likely to hear that message. How you doing, Carl? Good to see you there. Oscar, when is Kerbal? Good question. Tell you what, if it's miserable tomorrow, if the weather's miserable tomorrow, we'll probably do a Kerbal then and keep us up to it there. And Carl, thank you for the heart. Appreciate that. All goes back into the stream. How is your week gone, Carl? And are you looking forward to the weekend there? Kate is in already. How are you? So guys, we are doing an alien radio signal hunt tonight. They're searching, hoping to hear an anomalous radio signal that could be from an extraterrestrial civilization. They are quite rare, but they do happen, and the longer we do this for, the greater our statistical odds of detecting a potential signal there. Peach there, hello. Gargle, gargle. Oh, that had me chuckling well into the night, that did yesterday. How are you doing tonight there? I did want to play again. And Oscar, yeah, definitely be tuning in. Looking forward to that then. Yeah, you'll probably be quite frustrated, aren't you, about how bad we are at playing it. But hey-ho, we might try reversing the rocket there. Having a funk day today. Kate, what's up? Let us know. Have a rant here. And just get over the chest infection there. There's a few people getting them going around. Do you think if the weather clears, does that trigger illness in people? Because I was down the other weekend, it wasn't that bad. But a couple of other people in the chat have not been well this last week are there. Glad to hear. Is Pete not streaming tonight? I thought he would because it's the event still there. And Oscar, would you like me to send you some crafts to try? Depends how easy it is. I'd like to, but I did try putting in mods and stuff the other day, and I got it so wrong there. Dr. Mayer on the ship. Dr. Mayer, what is all this flu that's going around with everyone? Can you answer that one for us there? So guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would put that message, hello, is anybody else out there. It's where we've heard the wow signal, but it is where we've heard a number of other anomalous signals over the years. If you look into it, there is actually quite a lot of these anomalous signals that are very, very strange. They don't look to be technological in nature, but we can't quite fully say that they are definitely alien. It's quite hard to prove that. As you can imagine, these are vast distances. We can't just pop over there and check. That's why we can't 100% confirm it. But we are just getting so many anomalies up there in the sky. The evidence, I think, is absolutely abundant there. It's an alien virus. That makes sense. I blame Alan. Doesn't wash his hands after the probing there. And also, crafts are easy there. There's literally a folder. You just put it. I'll get it wrong, but I'll give it a go. There, and Kate, just been looking at your numbers and progression and the likelihood of needing a... Oh my god. Yeah, that is pretty funk there. Is it new information, or is it just looking at it in detail there? Rio is in. How are you doing, Rio? We're all good here. And Chris there, interesting at that. The US congressman is 100% convinced of alien visitation. See, that is exact Chris, and bang now, right on the head. Now, me sitting here in my green room at home, I don't have access to any special information there. I'm not a journalist. I don't have cool sources. So the information that I have is going to be readily available to all of you guys as well. We're a bit of a melting pot with a stomach. We digest and chew over the ideas here. But there are a few things that, even in the absence of our ability to get certain evidence there, that I'm pretty confident that we can look at proxies for things, if you want to know if your friend is having a party and he hasn't invited you, pop around to his house. Is there music blaring? You know, it's things like that. And I think it's things like this. There are people now that are coming out, and it's not like it was back in the day where it was always portrayed anyway, wasn't it? As always just the rednecks and the weird people that have alien experiences and things like that. When you actually look at it, no, it's not. It's not. And there's some very, very credentialed people there that have a very long, respectable mainstream careers there that are saying there is something going on, and sometimes they're a little bit more specific as well. And I think that is one of the key indicators that there is something going on right here. So 100% with that. I'm really interested in this the disappearance of all of the scientists that seems to be happening at the minute. Now, is it just correlation, or is there a direct link? It reminds me very much to the Marconi scientists that all went missing, didn't they, in the 80s there. It's got that sort of feel to it. To drop a... Oh, yes, there. 100%. Yeah, Oscar, if you message it, because otherwise I'll totally forget. Drop me a DM or something, and then I can send you, I don't know how you do it, email. There. And Pink Floyd, thank you for the heart. How are you doing tonight? You're looking forward to the weekend there. And that's why there was green slime on the probe. He sneezed well. The problem is, as he sneezes... Oh! The visualizations there. I mean, silly hopes I could avoid dialysis, but it doesn't look like hopes aren't silly. You can't change, like, you know, the physical reality of certain things there, but you just don't know. Like, if you've got to make a change in the immediate term to, you know, help improve your odds, 100% you've got to go with that there. But as soon as it's in the medium to the long range, and I visualize these things as a sort of a radar, you don't help yourself by, you know, concreting in that path, committing down that road there. You know, the stuff you have to do immediately, that's fair enough there. But that medium to long range, you don't know what could happen. And also the doctors and stuff don't know as well there. I mean, you know, they're better than me with those sorts of things, but... yeah, they work on averages, they work on the population as a whole, and the thing is there, you are individually a person that could be very different there, but they're still going to treat you as an average. So honestly, there is always hope there. His failure is more than doubled in November and March. Oh my god. But you didn't get that until recently, did you? Like, so you wasn't able to make some changes that much, was you? Because they were delaying you, wasn't it? Because they didn't believe you, somebody forced them or something, wasn't it? There, and A-Up is in. How are you doing there? Made it for another week, just about. Skin of our teeth there. Hydration reminder, thank you, Maya. Last night you kept telling me, and I kept going, oh yes, I'll have a drink. And then I forget. I looked at my drink, and I think I had one sip of it all night last night. So I promise I will do better here, there. And Rachel, how are you doing? Are you looking forward to the weekend? Have you got any plans with the family? And, Mr. Money, how are you doing? Have you got any plans there? Mr. Money is upon us there. May I loving the stickers. And what shall I DM you on? Just on here, be fine. Then that way, just direct to the thing, because I'll check that after the stream, and then I'll know what the next steps are. Thank you there. And it is true, and I know when it settles, it'll be. I'll be on it, and I'll just be a thing I live with. There's still so much potential with a lot of these things there. Gonna have the hope. Just angry when if they had told me I could have managed to by myself. But, yeah, that is the thing. And there's no feedback for these mechanisms. That is what is so frustrating about all of these institutions and things like that, is that they're not gonna, they never get to see the cost of their mistakes at all. There's no consequence for that. So how can they improve for the next time and things like that? I mean, people make mistakes, fair enough, but you've got to get the feedback, because otherwise they're never going to let that is. I can totally get that anger there, Kate, and the rage there. And Radio Planet, how are you doing? I love the name there. How are you doing tonight there? And doing okay. I have news on your dentist situation. Oh, you go back to see Amy in August there, because you've got the good dentist there you feel much more confident with, so that's good there. Exactly there. So yeah, guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching what is called the hydrogen line, and that is called the hydrogen line because it is the frequency, the channel on the radio dial, that hydrogen, I think it's the gas there, naturally emits a radio signal there as it decays. And I think it's actually like 1 in a million hydrogen, what do you call it? It's not atoms, it's bigger scale than that. whatever. Whatever you want in the middle, when they decay, they emit a radio signal. But because hydrogen isn't the most abundant element in the galaxy, it's actually a hell of a lot. And it's a similar sort of numbers game that it is with supernova as well. Now, supernova is incredibly rare, but we see them, actually. They're one of the most common things that we see in our night sky, as all the radio observers do there, because even though they are so incredibly rare, the universe is so vast and they are so incredibly loud. So actually, they stick their head above everything else. So despite their rarity, we see them very commonly. So it's that sort of thing that's at play there with that signal, and we're listening on the frequency there that it emits it. So what we're tuning into now is the sounds of hydrogen. But actually, guys, it's a little bit drowned out by that sound there that you could hear, which is the cosmic microwave background. That is what scientists think is the leftovers of the Big Bang. Same as the static on your TV there, or when you're in between channels on the radio there. She is really nice. Excuse me. It doesn't make a hell of a difference there, Rachel. And Radio Plan, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And it's for everyone there, people over the place, albeit. Yeah, Kate, honestly, like the horror stories I have heard, literally every single interaction that I have seen from friends and family for the past, I'm going on 7 years now. Like, not one positive, and they're all really of that sort of level. It's the system is just there. It is insane. It's so horrendous, isn't it, there? And I'll be right back, Mao. No worries there. And she is due to give birth at some point there, so I wish all the best. Yeah. So I think my one of my dentists that as well. I mean, you wish them the best, but then you don't want to have teeth trouble whilst they're away, do you? And with my kind, though, early intervention is essential, and I've been robbed of it. Robbed is the word there, Kate. Robbed is the word. 100% with it there. And yeah, it is very frustrating. Well, frustrating is not the correct word for it like that, but there is always the opportunity for change, because not only do they strop it at that end at the beginning, at the initial point, but they're not very good with that hope. They're not very good. They stick to their numbers. And that is not the same thing. You know, you treat groups as averages, you treat individuals as individuals, which is a big part of why the problem is there. Ben is in the house. How are you feeling today, Ben? Got any plans for the weekend? I was holding on. We're on a bit later tonight there because the weather forecast promised clear skies, and I didn't want to come on and then would come off later on and go, oh, look, the sky's clear now. But we waited and waited and waited, and it was just miserable. It was a rainy and cloudy. So, hopefully, mainly clear tomorrow. So, if it is clear tomorrow, it will have to be a sky watch. But if not, we'll do a bit of Kerbal. Oh, same for Sunday as well. Yeah, okay. Same for Monday. It looks like we might have a good run of sky watches there. Oh, look at that. We've got, is that Wednesday? That's looking pretty clear as well. Oh, typical Thursday is clear, and we're meant to be doing the quest on Thursdays. We'll see how the red of it goes there. Where are we? Let's have a look. Scrolling down. Got to now. Anyway, check on your EGRF numbers in your NHS test results. Their EG, is that to do with the kidneys? There, and over 90 is good. There, less than 90 is problems be starting. You would think, wouldn't you, that and they are getting this data for us all here, that they would naturally highlight the things, but no, they only look when specifically instructed there. I'm glad to hear it, Ben. We're all good here. We're all good. We are settling in for another night of listening out for strange and anomalous signals. Now, we do have a little one there, little ridge there, interference signal. So keep an eye on that one. I'm not sure where that is, because that one is trying to poke through over there, and it's coming through, isn't it, on this one? You can just see it, I think, about there. But it doesn't look to be too anomalous, so let's keep our eyes peeled there, because as I said, the night moves on, the sky rotates. We'll have more and more stars in range. In fact, we should, if we are lucky tonight, we should grab, again, that cluster of 4 stars that will be coming to range there. Is it Kraz, Minkar, and Algorab? There we go. There's some names for you. Who names the damn stars? Very, don't seem to be Greek, these ones, do they? I wonder what's going to be in range after that. They haven't labelled them yet, but you can see our little sky tracker down there. You can see the stars that are coming in range. Maybe if I go this way, God, trying to align myself. There you go. We're all across this bottom section there. That is the sky live. The red bit is our dish there, and it shows you which stars are in range, and it should also give some information on how many planets we are aware of in orbit of those stars. Now, for us to detect those distant planets in orbit around those stars, we have a couple of methods for these distances to be able to try and detect them there. The first one is the transit method, and that is basically we look at that distant star. It's a tiny little dot of light there, a couple of pixels wide. And what they do, the very, very clever people there, they look at that star, they monitor it for a while there, they measure how bright it is, how much light is coming in from that distant star, and therefore, if it drops periodically, like once a day, once every 24 hours there, or whatever it might be, that time frame, whatever it that time frame might be there, if it dips, then that implies that there is a planet or a body in orbit of that star which is blocking that light out there, and that's how they can detect certain planets there. It's one of the ways there. The other way is by ever so slightly observing the wobble on that star. So they're staring at it and it'll ever so slightly move, almost, well, it's definitely imperceptible to the human eye there, but they've got very sensitive telescopes there, and they can tell if that star moves ever so slightly there, and that could be that there is the gravitational interaction from a larger planet in orbit of that star. So think of planets like Jupiter and things like that there. They are big enough to actually tug a little bit on their star, and we can see that from down here there. Oh yeah, and they're in your medical records and test results there, urea and electrolytes there, the EGFR number. I'll have to have a look, although I'm probably a bit scared to. And Rachel there, I think my weekend is going to be chill. It could be a chill one. But I think me and my mum are going to sort my scar. Oh, that'll be cool, Rachel. That's an exciting weekend there. Oh, Harco, you've had the time shift as well. Well, I was on a bit later tonight. I was hoping to get to catch some clear skies. But if I wait a little bit later, it might clear enough, stop raining, and I can get the camera out. Alas, it is still overcast and raining out there, so we're on a tad later tonight there. And it should be listed when you have blood tests. They might well be. You get so many numbers these days. I was monitoring it for some reason. I can't remember now. Yeah. Oh, they won't. The horror stories there. The horror story. I'll tell you a brief one about my mother. I can't remember specifically what it is now, but it was some sort of dangerous heart murmur. She's having trouble. So I said, get an Apple Watch. It'll notify you if you get any certain issues. It'll go off and it records the data. And she got one, and it went off. It's saying, you need to go to your doctor about this. So she went to her GP and said, look, this is coming up, and what does it mean? What do we need to do? And he went, oh, technology, no, you're fine, no, you're just a woman of a certain age, hysterical, whatever it was, like that. Lo and behold, she pays to go privately and goes, oh, God, yeah, glad you came in, because that was really, really dangerous there. We need to put you on some medication for that one. You're thinking, you fucking, yeah, absolutely useless bastards there. I'll get your focal reducer on the back of it there. Oh, so you can mount a camera on it. Yeah, that'd be cool. There. Oh, you're going on your first ever trip abroad next Friday. Oh, Carl, where are you going? Exciting times there. Whereabouts? And Alan says, don't forget the duty free. He wants a very large Toblerone. And I go, no, it's almost Saturday here. I only got time left there, Harco. Well, oh yeah, it's getting late. Can you remember when we used to do this in the summer and we'd come on at, God, we weren't even on by now because of the, it was only just getting dark. So it was about 10:30 to 11, wasn't it? We'd be on until 2 in the morning. It was insane. Leanne, thank you for the gifts there. Second, and sometimes a third on there. And well, if they have called me in when my numbers started dropping, they'll have found, yeah, they are not proactive at all. There. Gollum in Alabama. It's on the Oh, so Alabama, fucking my eyesight. Albania, Jesus, sorry. That's all the way across the pond. But Albania, meant to be, that part of Eastern Europe there is meant to be incredibly beautiful over there. I've got a friend who always dips off as soon as there's a cheap flight, and you see all these wonderful pictures from that part of the world there. So have a fantastic time there, Carl, and Donna as well on that one. And I'm looking forward to moon gazing again there. But my mum is going to have words with the neighbours there. Oh, what do they get in the way? Was causing it 3 years before. And look at mate. Yeah, 3 years is a phenomenal amount of time. Phenomenal. Yeah, honestly. Oh, the lights are on. Yeah, so we have that. We have a neighbour. Probably seeing the bushes light up on the stream. It does for us. I don't know how it affects telescopes, but with the camera it's not so bad with the night sky. But like, yeah, if we've got the bush in shot, it just illuminates it there. But yeah, it does if you're standing out in the garden. Totally does your night vision in, doesn't it? There, absolutely. I don't know how big this floodlight is. It's absolutely ridiculous. There, and Jason is in there. If they have alien tech, why have they come up with something with spine bifida and that is a person live like my partner who has one. So this is a brilliant question there, like, and it applies to medical conditions like that, but it just technology across the board there. You know, one that gets raised a lot is free energy here. Why are we all squabbling around, you know, potentially doing damage to the planet? They're struggling to heat our homes there if they've got that technology. You know, militarily as well, why are they still spending billions on fighter jets if they've got these things there? Makes you upset there that I won't be around when I'm in my 60s, and people that's only live until, oh my god, that's something to live with. Their heart definitely goes out to you there, Jason, with it. And I think it is one of the very important questions, and it might actually be one of the reasons now that they are still keeping this a secret, because if they have had this technology for a long time there, the people that are responsible, or the people that have been perpetuating this system, maybe the original people that may have, like, you know, hidden this a long time ago for whatever those reasons, you know, then, you know, people, I think you're quite rightly, like yourselves there, would, you know, if it comes out now, yeah, we've had this technology from the 50s, and people, you know, think of all the things that we could have done because it's been hidden from us there. They are worried about the retribution that might come back to them there, and that might have been part of this new official, the way they're thinking about disclosing it there, because the tone of it, a few people have mentioned, Harko there, thank you for the rose, a few people have mentioned that the tone is ever so slightly changing, so things are coming out almost as if they are being trickle-fed to us there. But take the age of disclosure, that was all very much about, excuse me, it was all very much about, you know, we've got all this tech, guys, but for us to fully tell you everything, we need amnesty. That was the big thing. So maybe that is why we have this modern sort of disclosure push, and therefore, you know, that they're releasing it to try and encourage that amnesty there, because, you know, I think people would be quite mad about what could have been there. Only you going there, Donna, can't get on the plane. Oh my god, yeah, no, things like that. Things you take for granted there with it. Oh, well, have a fantastic time there, Carl. And Donna, enjoy having the house yourself. There. And oh, they have a baby, front lights are on and the back lights are on 25/7. Yeah, I don't get people that illuminate like constantly like that. And Rio there, I dreamed last night I was stuck in a green room by myself, and I couldn't get out of it. And Rio, that actually reminds me of a similar account. It was a red room by somebody in our community. I haven't seen them in a while, actually. But they told they'd had a kind of a history of a lot of encounters and things like that. But it was a red room that they woke up with there. Very interesting. Was it this room? This is a green room there. So yeah, it could be connected. It could be something to do it. It could be your brain trying to process it as well. There, and Benzi, how about these 10 scientists there? What is going on? This is very interesting. Now, I don't have a vast amount of information on it there. I know that there's a few very interesting cases there that are coming up, and it does seem, doesn't it, to be quite conveniently located to that. Right, guys, we're gonna start to look into it and release the documents. And then all of a sudden, the people that may have been the first point of call for things like this, all of a sudden start disappearing. There's maybe the people that don't want it to come out. have kind of got in the middle there. Then there was a similar issue in the 1980s there with lots of Marconi scientists here in the UK, lots of suspicious not being here anymore. And you know, these sort of things, they do happen. It's been reported for various issues there. I mean, just look at what happened during MK Ultra and things like that. We know that the intelligence services do get up to all of these sorts of things. Is it a correlation there? I mean, what is the amount of scientists in this particular area that does tend to go missing, you know, each year? You know, are we over on those numbers? Is it causation or is it correlation there? And maybe they're just vampires. I hope not. No, nothing in it at all. Nothing in it. Okay, so a green room there. I mean, so the one that I remember there is a red room, and the chap, it was his bedroom, but it kind of like he couldn't get out, like the door wouldn't open, or there was nothing behind the door or something like that. So maybe it's not quite the same there, but very interesting there. And Turtle Falcon are there. How you doing? Let's have a look there. Oh, someone got filtered. What were they saying? Was it A up? Always coming out of offensive things, A up. So yeah, we've got a few close by planets, as you can see, coming in range to the left of the target there. Now, when they come in range of that big circle, that is when we have a chance of detecting a signal that could be potentially coming from one of those stars. Now, will it or will it not, though? There, you know, it's the right place. We've got to be over a star that is inhabited, and I'm thinking there's going to be quite a lot of those. I don't think our luck is going to be too short with inhabited stars, but it is going to be when as well. Are they likely to be sending the signals whilst we are listening there? Unlikely to be sending them all the time, just because of how energy intensive they are there. And Rachel, I thought it was that was it. Yeah, the Marconi ones, they were the nuclear scientists, weren't they? And wasn't there again another spate, or was it just? No, it might have been one particular scientist that was linked to Iraq and chemical weapons and things like that. It might have been in the 90s as well. But it's a similar sort of thing there. You know, like secrets, government don't want to come out, scientists disappearing, all very suspect there. Where are we? Yeah, innocent A-up. Who, me? There. Innocently existing and getting blamed. I just default is A-up. It's either A-up. If it's technical, it's Alan. If it's some sort of risque comment, it's definitely A-up. There. Oh, so Rachel, yeah. So the ones we've got right now, haven't we? They're the ones. No, we've got. It's because it started, didn't it, with the what's it? The general. What was his general? Something or other. So he kind of Jim McCaston. That's something like that. So he has disappeared, and now kind of people have seen a couple more since, and then a couple more before it. So, you know, drawing a big circle around it of suspicious stuff. So who was it in 2024? Because the one that I was thinking of, there was one in. No, there's quite a few of these scientists that were missing in the 80s, and that was they worked for Marconi as a defence contractor here in the UK, and they all suspiciously, met as a sort of untimely ends there. And then there was a chap, I can't remember his name now, particular, he was like a top government scientist there. He disappeared, or no, he didn't disappear, he in the 90s. And that was all, you know, suspect behaviour there. But these ones, I don't know how long these ones have been going on for, but I know it was recently, didn't it, picked up with old, I think it's General McCaslin recently there. I can't argue that point there. Just a potty mouth. I mean, you were surprised by the influence of your Allens at home there, you know. Where are we? Oh, those ones, and disappearing ones. I was pointed to it, can't blame them all. No. Oh, the tubes is frozen already. Already, that damn platform. 3 nights in a row we've had issues with that, and I thought TikTok was just useless. Let's have a look. What's that? Come on. I forgot my own channel name now. Let's have a look. See if we are still. No, you're right. It's bugged. No. Is it? No, it's still working. Sorry, tubers. It's working on my one. Bloody things there. Never trust them. Oh, no way to contact her. I don't know. Ooh, info has been withheld for some reason. Very strange. Disappearing cases. Oh yeah, I always think it could be the aliens taken. Well, that is one of the lesser considered options, isn't it, Rachel? You know, I mean, especially if, you know, they've not been found. Definitely, you know, it becomes a possibility. I mean, we could look on the positive side with these recent ones there. I think somebody said, well, maybe they've all been, you know, brought in for their own safety there, you know, knowing of what is, you know, coming up, what is going to be happening with the, I know what's going to be happening with all of this current disclosure movement. But, you know, sadly, with the world, probably not there. Oh, got a bit on it earlier there, Past Life Read, but I'm getting shushed when I'm trying to get more. Interesting. That makes me very, very curious there. And you can't always blame them, but it always comes to mind. Well, I think it's something that needs to be considered. You know, at this point, we're not going to know either way. But I think to not have that on your list of possibilities with how everything currently is, you know, I think we should. Yeah, I think it definitely should be one of the things pinned to the conspiracy board. Yeah, I wonder if, yeah, because there was quite a few. I can't think of too many of the others. I'm waiting for somebody to do a decent deep dive on it, but the general, God, I lost that battle, guys. The general he was very interested in the nature of his disappearance there. It looks they're very suspect there. You know, the circumstances around that. And again, and also, have you heard with this general as well, that the day he goes missing, one of the very active Twitter, or what was Twitter, leakers of information, whistleblowers, technically, somebody who was, you know, spouting a lot of detailed information about the phenomena, that account has been silent ever since, I think down to like the hour that he went missing as well. So they're theorizing, although this general wasn't publicly, in fact publicly would say, I don't know anything about it, don't talk to me about the aliens, but apparently on the record he has spoken with people like Tom DeLonge's and people like that, and also this Twitter account as well could well be it. Very interesting there. It just feels weird, since it was a nuclear scientist there, why all of them are suspicious. Well, I mean, nuclear materials as well, isn't it? That it all comes under the same umbrella. I mean, the definition of nuclear, under, I think, American law is very, very widespread, so purposely, so they can put very fancy things into the top secret classification there. But I do think the UFO reverse engineering program and things like that, crash recovery, is probably run by the Department of Energy. So there is a high overlap there with the nuclear science is there. Same. There's a correlation, Kate. It's not known, but it is generally a correlation there. And Project Bottle there. If orbs use a light to get our attention, why not use a light to send a signal out? Well, light is one of the ways to send a signal. And a recent paper from a scientist there, it's actually his doctoral dissertation there, it's in peer review now, I believe. But basically, he's saying, well, exactly that question that, you know, are we checking for, as the same way we're checking for radio signals, are we checking for potential lasers being shone at us there? We use that ourselves. In fact, all of those Starlink satellites that we see flying over on our sky watches there, the way they communicate with themselves is they shine lasers at each other, and that's how they transfer the data really efficiently, really, really fast there. So why would ET not be doing the same thing? So they've got a paper out there which basically says, yeah, I think we're seeing a hell of a lot of that, actually. And the interesting thing with lasers is, A, it's technological in nature. There's not much that nature does that looks like a laser. But B, it's directional as well. So if we're seeing what appears to be a laser shone at us, whoever's shining it knows we are here. So very, very interesting as well. But the reason we are doing a radio signal search, it's not just because that's, you know, with human technology and it's accessible. But in fact, well, that's the very reason why. Because this frequency that we are listening on right now, this is where scientists think those messages are most likely to be sent. and it's where we've heard those anomalies before, but we think they're most likely to be sent here because this frequency tells us so much about the universe and what is going on all of the time. It provides radio astronomers there with a baseline, and therefore there'll always be eyes and ears monitoring this frequency. And if that is true for us, alien scientists would know this too, so they would be monitoring this frequency. So if you purposely want a message to be heard there by an unknown recipient, think the hello, is anybody else out there, or a help, save us, our star is eating our planet, we can't get off there, can anyone help us, something like that, this is the best frequency there to do it. And radio is also quite good in the sense that technologically speaking, it's quite easy there, so you're going to have quite a wide range of technological civilizations that in theory could detect this, so that is why we think for that one there. But lasers, definitely a strong one for the communication there. And Destine there, Starlink passed over College Hill, Cincinnati this morning, and my kid thought the world was ended. And honestly, I get that. It is so awesome to see, isn't it? And if you don't know what it is, there's not a lot else to compare it to, and it is very obviously not natural, just by its shape and its but you know, depending on how you see it there, if it's the tight line when they're very close together, it's like a solid line, you know, that looks like nothing natural there as well. So totally, like, if you don't know what it is, of course you're going to think that is, you know, the world's end, the aliens are invading us. I totally get that one there. And Stephen Hawking claimed to be we send a signal into a space. So we sent a signal out, didn't we, in the early 1970s there, and it was basically, you know, hey, we're humans, we're on the third planet, you know, from our star, and you know, a carbon-based life formed, blah blah blah, just a bit of a generic hello message, and we sent it out into deep space. So our most powerful radio transmitter, which at the time was the Arecibo radio telescope there, because it was a space radar. Stephen Hawking, though, quite interestingly, Rosetta, Kate wants to talk to you. How you doing? Thank you for the rose. But yeah, quite interestingly, that old Stephen Hawking there did say probably shouldn't be sending those messages out ourselves. You never know who's going to answer, and maybe they're nasty, and that tells you something. That it tells you that he thought that the likelihood or the possibility of advanced, potentially threatening alien life was strong enough there. Not that it definitely was, but he thought logically, with the way his view of the universe, that it was a possibility enough for us to be a bit cautious with it. So I always find that as a very interesting data point there. And because we have to be technologically able to receive and read that signal, so that is there is a minimum line for these things. You know, you're right there. You have to be. It's like if aliens are using some sort of quantum property to communicate. We haven't got the technology to even know that there is a message being sent, let alone pick it up there. So you want to have something. If you are trying to reach an unspecified audience, the widest possible audience there, you need to make it as easy as possible, don't you there? And understandable, but you know who is always keeping an eye on us. Well, that's, yes, as well there. And the same guy that came out in the files there, so why not send a signal out? Well, I mean, this is interesting. He did, but I mean, I don't know what went on there as well, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's not really capable of doing much, is he, though? But Epstein did have a very strange interest in physics, like a very strange connection in physics there. So he was entertaining all sorts of scientists. In fact, he even built a ranch out there. Was it Texas? I think it was in Texas, basically, because near one of the big government labs, that all of the old scientists that work there, was it one of the national labs, again, heavily linked to the UFO phenomena, the big ranch where he could entertain all these retiring super secret scientists to get all of their information and things like that. So, I mean, there's a connection going on. There is a connection. I don't know what it is, but there is definitely a connection there. And Thing Hunter, how you doing there? Hello, my friend. It seems like great minds do think alike there. It's this chat. It is there, Thing Hunter. I'm sorry, it takes a while for me because I've got a couple of chats going at the same time there, because we're on TikTok as well. Love the name. It's a good one. How are you doing? Where are you joining us from tonight if you're still in there? It takes me a second to get around to it there. Back to the older TikTok chat there. And those people went missing from Twitter too. So yeah, basically, and I don't know if there's been an update since I saw it there, but there was a count that was whistleblowing, and you know, it was releasing a lot of information that's quite specific. And yeah, that went silent, I believe, the same hour or close to that general went as well there. You definitely did summon Rosetta. You say her name 3 times. There. The number of photos. Aliens! Let them have their fun. I mean, I totally get it. I totally get it there. And how you doing, Beerbuster? Oh, you say diddling as well there. See, A-Up says diddling as well, and that has got a very different meaning to what I'm used to there. But how are you doing, Beerbuster? You looking forward to the weekend there? And weird how those are the first to disappear without a trace. It is there. It's very, very interesting. And is it causation or is it just correlation there? It's going to be interesting there. Thing Hunter. That is perfect because we're down in Warminster. Hello, neighbour. So that's where we got the name from the stream there. You know, we're named after the Warminster thing. So we normally do a Skywatch, but it's cloudy tonight, so the camera is inside there. This is I like a good local here. So Wiltshire born and bred there. I'm thinking it like that. So I'm not, as you can probably tell by the accent. We only moved here about a year ago, and you know, I thought I knew all of my UFO stuff. And then we get the house here, and I thought I better Google this town that I know nothing about. And the first thing that comes up is the Warminster thing. And I'm like, how the hell did I miss such a good UFO story here? An account that, you know, is absolutely phenomenal. So that's one part of the stream. We want to reinvigorate this there. So as somebody who's born and bred there, I bet you've got some fantastic experiences that you have seen here. You guys have to let us know some of those. And it's interesting how some of the big names in UFO UAP world aren't talking about the missing ones. So I hadn't clicked with that one, but yeah, I'm waiting for somebody a little bit more qualified than me to do a bit of a deep dive and come up with that. Now, are they all waiting for that? Or is there something else going on? I hadn't put that together there, but very good. Yeah, that's why I haven't done that. Another diddler. Very, very distant. Peekaboo's Agent X there. How are you doing tonight, sir? And so who is missing? So there are those, the scientists and the general in the US that all seem to be kind of potentially in that adjacent category of could be connected to the phenomena in the US there. Interesting and suspicious. So that was my dating profile from a long time ago there. Who is X? It's literally your name there. Is this new? Yeah, it started, I don't know, about a month ago, maybe? The loop, Rosetta. Yeah, your finger on the pulse. Yeah, was it about a month ago or so? I think it's General McCaslin. And he was one of the guys that I believe is reported that he was in contact with Tom DeLonge there into the Stars Academy. Never publicly talk about the UFO stuff, but he's shown in emails to basically be talking about it, you know, potentially having information of it. He, all of a sudden, disappears in very, very, very suspicious circumstances in the US, and they can't figure it out. Very anomalous. Nothing adds up with it there, but whilst people have kind of been looking at that, they have noticed that since then some other scientists, I don't think he was a scientist technically, he might have been a general as well, but there were some scientists that are kind of in those fields that could well be adjacent to the phenomena as well there, but also a little bit in the past to it there, like Lord Lucan. If only. No, he didn't, as far as I know, this general hasn't diddled anyone there, hasn't done anybody in there. 8 scientists have gone. There's something along those lines. I don't know how many it is. Is it 8? It might be 8 there. But yeah, so they've all disappeared, you know, all suspicious things there. Now, is it correlation? Or is there something else going on there? Maybe the scientists were alien and have just gone home. That's similar to what Rachel was saying. We haven't put abduction off of the list. I don't think my new medication... Oh, okay, not the new meds. There's always an adjustment period there. People are drawing that conclusion. And you know what else? So the free body problem, this. I almost don't want to go down this road because it's an easy one to draw, isn't it? But that is exactly the free body problems you've just highlighted there. Also, they talk about misdirecting our sciences. String theory is starting to come out now. String theory is starting to unravel, that we have been sent on a merry goose chase, or physics, I should say, theoretical physics has been sent on a goose chase for the last, 60 years of not really doing anything other than just wanky maths. There, so you've got that correlation. But was it Arrow? There was a government department that was associated to the UFO world that it was reported by one of their directors that basically when you join, it is mandatory reading for all new recruits to read the Dark Forest trilogy, which is the Free Body Problem, is the first book of which there. So why is anything mandatory reading? Because it's got some information there that you need to know. It could be. There could be something there. I was literally having this conversation with my mother. We're having a competition now on who takes the most pills. Probably Kate now. We have to give you the trophy. There. Or what if it's mandatory so they know it's fiction? I mean, possible there, but you could probably just do that in a sentence rather than reading the whole book. You do think that there might be something along the lines, Martin, there of... Brad, thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks guys.
There might be something going on along the lines, that it's probably not going to be exactly the same, is it, or as literal as the book there. But as we've said before, media is a great way of telling people without telling people. It's like, here's a load of books, here's a load of films, guys, just... we've got an understanding. Because as far as we know, by the mainstream explanation there, we've never had any conversations, we've never met, we've never had any interaction with an extraterrestrial civilization, but we've all got a bit of an idea of how it might go down there, and there are many versions of that, positive, negatively, anywhere in between. But what fiction allows us to do there is allows us to explore these things. It's the same as a sort of a model, it's the same as an experiment there. These are thought experiments essentially, but that is a great way of that they can tell the public, so they have an idea of what to expect, but without actually telling them, guys, the bad news, aliens, something like that there. Oh, yes. Oh, well, keep working at it, Kate, and you might win it there. And Sean there, maybe those scientists have just been relocated and told to keep their mouth shut. That is another angle, and I think that's possibly the best one, isn't it? Because otherwise, it's not looking good for them. So if we're looking on the positive side, then hopefully they've been taken somewhere for their own safety and for their families' safeties, because maybe there will be people out after them there. And if you need to be informed on what's real, you also need to know what isn't. Ooh. But isn't that kind of like that could just be open-ended on what isn't there? I suppose, if it was free books, I mean, maybe. The one thing, though, with the free body problem, spoilers, guys, not massive ones, but get ready for a little bit one for the context here. One thing that's always put me off about either the free body problem, which is essentially aliens are on their way. It's quite far. It's going to take them a while. And, they've decided they don't like us already. And they're trying to prevent us from technologically advancing. So then, obviously, by the time that those aliens get here, we're not going to be more of a threat for them. The thing I have about these long-distance space trips is that, I think if space is to be traversable to any real degree beyond the solar system there's just so many problems unless you can build a warp drive, unless you can do something like that. There's got to be a technology. And then if you can do that, then you don't need these longer time frames, there. Same with the big threat that we hear about, there's a mothership on its way. It's like that. Well, if there's a mothership on its way, then what are we seeing in the skies now? It doesn't... I mean, both can be true, I suppose. They're not fully mutually exclusive, are they? You know, maybe one civilization has a warp drive and they can zip here and back and they can crash at Roswell or something, but maybe there's some other ones that don't quite have that and they've got to go the old-fashioned way and big craft over a long period of time. But I don't know, I just feel like, you know, it would go that way. You know, if they're going to be able to traverse at those distances, it probably would be warp drive and therefore quite quick for them there. And could all alien Alan probies please raise their hands? That's going to be a lot of hands there, Kate. And how you doing there, Sean? There was a reason I rushed to be the first to complete your passport. I mean, you know, we'll hold this one up. It's like the Independence Day scene when they blow up the old... everyone's on the tower block. Like, no, we got the passports. You just want to go, what about this magic resource printing machine, Kate? There, and Yorkshire Coin Hunter, how are you doing there? Meet your show tonight there. Been sat watching for 30 minutes. Oh, lucky. It's cloudy and rainy here. I was hoping it was going to clear, but no. Sadly, it is cloudy here. I might check again. Upon a request of Alien Alan in the passport signatory. I mean, they're all signed by Alan. It takes him a while. Can't really grip the pen. So for several satellites or space junk and 2 hedgehogs mating. I mean, at least you've got some entertainment. It's a bit sordid. There have been whistleblowers who have come to harm, and that is why they go public now. Yes, that is very, very true. There are lots that are claiming to have those experiences, and we know that is their sort of behaviour there. And Jason there, and do you buy the whole doomsday clock? So yes and no. Yes and no with that. Like, the doomsday clock is this theoretical, well, it's a more of a symbolic clock that just tells you it's meant to represent like how close we are to danger, you know, like, and the example is if I'm walking with a pair of scissors, I'm at 1 a.m. or something. I'm not too dangerous there. But if I'm running with scissors whilst juggling Molotov cocktails, I'm really close to danger there. And you know, they display it through time. And I think that was an interesting way of displaying that, you know, during the Cold War, and you know, the threat of instant annihilation of a nuclear apocalypse there, and all the horrors that could be. The problem is that nowadays, as we recently found out, is that they've bundled everything else under the sun in it for attention, and therefore devalued it. So I don't, when they talk about, you know, we're the closest we've ever been to annihilation as we've ever been there, that is now because they've thrown the world and his fucking wife in there, and it's not the same. It's apples and oranges. I'm belligerently against the modern doomsday clock there. They've spoilt it. They've not watched The Boy That Cried Wolf. There, and I think Drewski there, they see us as a plague killing the planet there. Well, we definitely see ourselves as a plague killing the planet there. I lean, and it might be true, it might very much be true like this there. I tend to think though that, like, in the realms of the universe and all the things that nature is capable of doing and has done in the past, anything we do is child's play. You know, it's nothing compared to what nature can do in the blink of an eye. For there, not to say that we shouldn't be better at a lot of the things there. You can very much make the case that actually, you know, I quite like it how it is now, and I want to see bees and butterflies. You know, I think that's fair enough. But like, I think any race that can traverse the galaxy and has seen the wonders of that and have all those powers, I can't fully, unless Earth is special, and there are some interesting cases to say that might be the case. I don't lean there by default, but you can make an interesting argument for that. That'd be the only way around it there. Take you aboard the mothership there. And Drewski there, I think I've done that one there. And the distancing there, we again are using human bias to predict there. Well, that is very true. We are using that, but distance gets weird as well. Like, again, if they were an alien species, they might not even care about the time factor. You know, again, you know, our timelines are based on our biology for our environment here, and it's all relative to us there. But remember, we dipped into light cones the other day, and the idea that as soon as you get far enough away from something there, you don't have a direct causal link or a real-time connection to the rest of the universe. So things can happen and the universe can reorder it as well. Like it's not how you think it is. Like if a ship leaves, I don't know, it has to be quite far away, but a star, 10,000 light years away on its way to Earth there, and they left today, right? And then I pat my head. Where you go? What was the order of events there? The ship left, and then Sam taps his head. But actually, in the universe, if you're not directly connected, you can reorder that. It's not strict that it's together, it's crazy. So I think you're right with the human perception, because we think there's a literal order to things here. I can't live in my house before it's built, but that is not true for the universe over those distances. How come when Artemis touched down there, it was clean and had no burns? I don't know. I did watch it come down, but I don't know. Probably because the cameras were so crap. I still haven't forgiven them for that one. The scars there, and they might have technology to open a space portal to traverse different solar systems. I think they've got to have something like that, because these distances are so vast otherwise, and little things like that are like the order of things. How can you even be a unified civilization to any degree if technically you can send a response to a message before somebody's actually sent you the message in the first place? Like the universe is weird over these weird scales there, so you've got to have some way around to kind of connect everybody. And it's kind of like, I suppose, if you think about how we used to treat time, like when nobody was really strict about time, and specifically what time it was everywhere, until we had railways. Because until then, it didn't matter if people in London thought it was 4 o'clock and people in Bristol thought it was 3:45-ish. It didn't have to be precise. But once they're all connected, it did have to be, because that train had to arrive when there wasn't another train sitting at that station. So they had to really pull their fingers out with putting in universal time standards and getting strict and clock watching and things like that. We didn't really have the same relationship with time back then until we were connected, because you'd stay in your small town, your small villages there, and mate, there's got to be something like that at the scale as well. Like, until it's there, there's no way, until you have that causal connection there. It's still an order from the Intergalactic Feds. Alan's still on the run from them as well there. And Bradley, need to send you right. Yes, 100. I've still got it in the envelope there, Brad. So yeah, send it over. You can send it on here as a message, not in the main competitors chat, but I don't know how secure TikTok chat is. But you are on our Patreon. You should be able to send us a message on the Patreon, or a direct message to me on the Discord, and I will get that one sent off for you there. Rosetta as well. I need the same. Need your address as well for your passport. That's sitting in front of me. And they might be abducting to find the best way to kill us, but you can't stress test about it. You can't stress about it. Well, there are so many possibilities. We do get a lot of people that say, actually, the experiences, they are benevolent. They're the parent in the room there. And then you get some people that do say otherwise. And I think logic would dictate, in the same way that there is a diversity of species here on Earth, there's probably a diversity of species up there as well. Some will probably be good and some will probably be bad there. And just setting up the tripod for some long exposure photos. Very jealous of your clear skies there. Hope you get some good ones there. I do not know. I do not. If sport a good thing, I'm a traditionalist. My doomsday clock ran. I have no idea. Rachel, what's the best way to look for the current meteor shower? Rachel will know. It's very good with these things in the sky. And Sean there, Israel's getting swarmed by hundreds of thousands of bees right now in the news. What? I haven't heard that one. Israel and bee. Oh God, it is starting to feel very biblical, isn't it? Which they did say was possibly some of those motivations for a lot of the action that's been happening in that area recently. You think, oh my God, that's not going to go. Not going to go a very good direction, is it? Here, if you pat your head before 11 p.m, you multiply like gremlins. See if it works. And more Allens there. And Benjamin there, when Artemis touched down, should have been a steam as it hit the sea. Well, you wouldn't have thought. It's bloody warm there. I mean, I don't know how those tiles work, because obviously they are designed to be heat sort of resistant. How long is it? Do they work by sort of losing their heat by conducting and losing the heat as quick as possible? Is that how it works? Therefore, as it kind of comes down, it has a chance to cool down a lot. I don't know. I'm spitballing there. It might be, but I'm open to people playing silly buggers and not and telling us they're going to the moon or not. I'm totally open to that. But why would they bother for the current Artemis mission? Like, it doesn't achieve anything. It's all risk, no reward. If you are pulling a fast one there. Portalo there. Can you imagine as that one splashed down there, Agent X, and it just shaking it around like that? Wouldn't want to be in there like that. Maybe they jetted it first there. There. Oh, the Lyra constellation, there we go. So that is going to be the best place to check out for the action tonight. There, Brunos, how are you doing? And Artemis, I think I was kicked out of Hercules. Long away. Space Monopoly. Excellent. Where are we? Yep, no, we are up to that. Across the chats tonight is a quiet one. So yeah, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. Oh, we've got one of those stars in range. We're about to get a few more in there. So currently in range, just about, of our dish tonight now is a star called Minkar there, and it is 303 light years away. So if we were to receive a signal from that star right now, it would have been sent 303 years ago, or in our time there. So a round conversation will be 606 years there. So relativity at play there. Oh, Lyra and Hercules constellation. I thought watching Artemis was amazing. I thought it was amazing. Though I was very upset with the quality of the camera. The actual ones that they've taken and then released, brilliant. But the live footage there, they dropped the ball. I think we paid more for our camera than bloody NASA did for that. And if we play a Monopoly on here, who do you think would cheat first? Alan. There. Hold on, Agent X. I've got my hat all ready for Monopoly. I could have cried. It's so good to be going back, isn't it? I think anything that gets us looking up, gets us considering those things again, I think is amazing there. But I think it's typical NASA, wasn't it there? Like, of all the money that was spent there, just think of how many more people they could get to support them, and therefore to justify increased budgets if they just knew how to put on a little bit of a show, rather than the afterthought of, can you run down to Target and get us a GoPro quickly? Yeah, we've forgotten about the live stream, lads. Only uses the Nokia for every 10 for visuals. I mean, it blew my mind, because we had it up. I had it live on here. I was watching it live, and you can see the moon, taking up the full screen. They were getting close, and I went, wait a minute. I put up our little clip of our moon watch. Our moon watch has got a clearer shot of the fucking moon. So thankful they came back home safely, though. Yeah, we're never happy. Oh, I'm never happy, Rachel. No, never. I've always got a boat to pick. But yeah. No, I'm grateful for them to be getting back at home. But, yeah, I don't let them off easy. I think, we shouldn't have been messing around. Although I am feeling quite positive, though, about generally. I will say that. It's called obstinance. I like to stir the pot. But, yeah, I know I am actually feeling quite positive towards NASA in general at the minute. So I think some of the plans that they've come out with are quite ambitious, and I like that about them. Whether that'll happen, we'll have to see. Again, bureaucrats. But I think old Gerald Isaacman is so far pointing the ship in the right direction. So we'll have to see. But it could go well. It could go well. What is it? When are they due to actually do the landing? Is it 2030 or 2029? Somebody will know this. One of you guys will know this one. Oh, let her go. Next star in range there. We have got... Oh, I don't remember if we've had this one. Ginar. Never had Ginar. 165 light years. Again, not that far at all there. So that is 165 years each way there. Oh, 2028, Brad. Bloody hell. That is, okay, now that is close. If they achieve that, I'll let them off a little bit there, because that's quite a tight turnaround time. I'll let them off if they achieve the 2028 one. So yeah, Ginar and Minkar there, and then Algrab and Kraz are going to be coming in range of the dish very, very soon. So keep an eye on the meters there, guys, and let us see if there's any changes that we could possibly correlate to having those stars in range there. Oh, clear banana. I'm very, very jealous. It is cloudy. It was meant to be clear, so we waited a bit. We delayed the stream in hopes that those clouds would pass. But no, it's cloudy. Alien radio signal hunt time instead of there. Well, make the most of it, Banana. Let us know if you spot anything. Good to see you. Artemis 3 next year, and 4 by July 2020. Oh, what's 3 doing then? So if they've gone round this time, are they doing that again, or are they doing that and something else, or are they putting something in place? Very interesting there. And Venus was beautiful in the evening sky. You know what, I don't even know if I must have seen it, but I've not gone, oh, that's Venus before. I'll have to make the effort of doing that at some point there. And made me laugh there, Agent X. Elon will be on the moon by 2028. They're escaping his robots. What have I done there? Just going around again there. It was meant to land, but they decided after 2 launches to change it. I'll forgive him of that one. I'll forgive him there. I'm fine with just taking it step by step. And I think having the year in between for something like this, okay, that's fine. I can get with that. I will forgive them of that one. Jesus. I'm going to keep going all night with that one. You see the robot running down the road on TikTok. That one? Is that the one with the face? I've seen one of this robot. I want to buy one. He goes around just being rude to people. Banana there. So I haven't been on recently there working. Oh my god. Days there, 6 a.m. 7 p.m. Oh, that is pretty grim there, Banana. But don't worry. No, it's always good to see you there. But you don't have to feel pressured to join us there. But hopefully you'll be well rewarded for that. It's good to see you now, though. Have you got any plans for the weekend, Banana? Anything exciting on the horizon? So yeah, we've got those 2 stars in range. Going to get another 2 more. I think Kraz is going to be the next one in any moment now. So are we going to notice any changes in that background noise? Any changes in potential signals? If we are lucky enough to get a signal, as it'll only be on screen for between 30 and 90 seconds there. That is with the Earth's rotation. There, the speed of the Earth's rotation, that we would have our dish on, over and off of those target stars and there. So it will be fleeting. It is our right place at right time. So we'll have to hope, that we are lucky tonight. But the more we do it, the more our statistical odds increase there. And definitely aiming for promotion there, working tomorrow. But otherwise, chilling, keep an eye on the UFO news there. So, Banana, well deserved, working late like that. And you have to let us know how it goes. On that one, the disclosure is supposedly closer than ever. I hear so many rumours now, and this is the problem with a lot of the rumours and a lot of the releases and the information that we're getting. A lot of it can't be corroborated there. It cannot be. It's not necessarily confirmed, is it? So it can still be a lot of noise. But it is so hard to believe that just with the amount and the quality that we're getting, that there isn't some actual truth to it. There isn't actually some signal. It does feel ever so much that we are on the cusp of it there. And I watched Spielberg's trailer again for this Disclosure Day. I think it's the full one that's out now. Thank you, Matt, for sending that one. And getting me. There's a few extra little bits in there. I'm trying to, figure out what is the storyline there. Is it just that it's announced that there are these human hybrids, going on there? What is the overall lesson? Are they good? Are they bad? What's going on with that? What is the meaning? It just feels like all of the playing cards, the dominoes are being stacked. They're all being set up. It does feel like we are close to something, doesn't it, there? Do they meet with the hybrids, maybe? Well, that's what I was trying to figure out there, because the way in some of the clips there, the characters, some of them can speak the language and some of them can understand it, but other people can't. And, it's like they're among us and stuff. It makes me think that they're going to be very humanoid, like the hybrids are going to basically look the same as us, but with just extra skills. And it doesn't tell you, does it, if that's going to be a threat, that, oh my god, they've infiltrated us, or is it going to be one of these wider lessons of, we have to learn to live together, and they're not necessarily bad, it's just different. Is it going to be one of those ones? But then the big mothership roars in, so what's that about? That shot is shown, isn't it, there? Spoken to 5 whistleblowers, all worked on UFOs, and one worked with greys and reptilians. Can you imagine, like if you actually got the opportunity to get hands-on in a safe way with the craft? Like, wouldn't that be... I don't know if I could process it, And ours is them telling us about aliens and ships, and there's some thermal footage from a plane 10 years ago. Ooh, wait, what's the first? Did I miss? Oh, our idea of disclosure and their idea of disclosure is very different there. Ours, there we go. Ours is them telling us about aliens and ships, and there's some thermal footage from plane 10 years ago. That can make sense now. And yeah, you're totally right there. You know what? I don't even know if... Is disclosure something, an event that can be defined, or is it the after-the-fact estimation of what has happened? Like, is it about the individual things that are told to us, or is it about a certain amount of the population believing something to be true? Because we see this in reverse, don't we? We see this with the more skeptical people that will come in and say, there's no aliens, there's no such things as UFOs, when we know that to be factually incorrect. Don't know if they're alien, or I don't know if they're alien, but there's definitely UFOs. There's definitely lots of individual cases that there's definitely evidence pointing towards the fact, but yet in regards to the evidence, general public isn't, that needle hasn't switched over, to that there, that consensus there, the zeitgeist. So is it just the measurement of when that switch goes over that it's achieved disclosure, or is it an act there? Because you know what, I don't know what I would trust. There will be some things, but I would be quite skeptical of a lot of things, even though I want this, and I believe that is where it is, I believe there is a there. I still am always a bit skeptical of people telling me what I want to hear. Go, yeah, right. Can you prove it though? Yeah, I mean, what is the threshold for you guys? What for you would be enough? What is official disclosure there? Because again, a lot of you guys have already had some form of disclosure. You've had an experience yourself there. You don't need the question answered. So for you, is disclosure acceptance in the wider community there? Oh, you do see one of them. The hybrids are beautiful. Are they different looking? Because I saw literally a snapshot of where Steven Spielberg reveals what the aliens look like at a conference or something, some sort of fan con. But I don't remember seeing them in the trailer. I don't know. But there, and Pluto there. Thank you for the hi. How are you doing tonight, Pluto there? And it does seem like some stuff just can't. They can't control there, so they're scrambling a bit. So I reckon, Banana, I think you're quite on the money there. I don't think they're doing it voluntarily. I think it's one of two things that is at play. So firstly, overall, I think they're only going to give away the bare minimum. Like, the only what they absolutely have to. Hopefully for us, that is going to be enough to say, look, there is life. We've got contact with it in some form, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think they're going to go into the details just for the fun of it. So I think what's happening is either A, as we've said a few times on this stream, that we are just so much more connected now that they can't hide all of it. there's just too much that people can see and notice that the mainstream explanation is falling apart. So they're kind of giving us just enough information, raising the mainstream understanding just enough so it's stabilized, so it doesn't catastrophically all come out and crumble, or they are angling for an amnesty. They don't want to be responsible for hiding it in the first place and all of the things that come from that. So you live in Wiltshire, you don't sound countrified. I'm working on it, Agent X. I don't trust the reptilians or the mantis ones. So, I mean, this is it. It would make sense that there's good and bad out there. And I would be absolutely terrified. Not so much necessarily of the reptilians, depending how reptile looking, but by default, anything insects. If there's a fucking massive mantis, I'm not a fan of that. Aliens are okay. Bring them to mine for Yorkshire pudding and tea. It's sitting down with the mantis there. And metaphorical there, like the four in that. Population that scares us to believe different things. So I mean, could well be there. And I believe what I have experienced there, yes. So I am a sucker for that. I'm belligerent. So a lot of people in our community here have had like direct experiences with things. And even though that, and I trust the people in, especially the ones we've got now, I trust, they've had the experiences of what they've said. But also, I have to see it myself. I will have to reinvent the wheel. I have to learn things my own way. I have to muddle through. I have to get burnt every now and again. I am frustratingly like that with it there. But there is a certain degree that, even though I'm frustrating like that, there is a certain amount that I don't do that unconsciously. Like we've said the example before, like I act on belief and faith in certain things, I will, cross a bridge without knowing if it's secure, as long as it's not very obvious there. So we do work on trust. We haven't always done the scientific experiments in each individual case, but it's where do you draw that line of trust there? So I don't necessarily believe all of the scientific community, but I believe enough of it to still be like, well, I think space is real, and I think orbits are real, and I think, like that. I've not gone full to the flat Earth side of things, but yeah, I am skeptical enough of scientific institutions to be like, I might question the specifics. So it's interesting, isn't it, where we all go on these sorts of things. It's a good answer there with your what you need for disclosure there, having an experience there, an alien embassy. Could you imagine that one, like, Kate? Just seeing them all outside. Getting on with that little alien-y business. I mean, that'd be part of it, though, wouldn't it? So an alien embassy. I mean, that's pretty much over the line there. So you're quite hard to impress there, I think. And you see a hybrid in the trailer there, the female one. Is it as in like mostly human? Like, because am I just thinking I'm seeing the humans? Because there was definitely, like, you see, like this as the camera pans, and it's an older woman, and then it's the younger is Emily Blunt, isn't it, that plays that character. So is it that they're very humanoid looking? And a disclosure would be us being able to feel validated, even though we already know they are real there. So yeah, it's in the wider culture then that it is, accepted. It's brought it up from the world of disbelief, and it's now, okay, I can see that. How are you doing, Pluto? 7 categories of reptilian. Well, it would make sense. Again, you just look at how diverse species are here on the Earth. Why would the rest of space be any different? There are various types. I read that first of Agent X as venomous. I'm like, oh my god, there's something else to worry about now. Venomous hybrids. Various types of hybrids there. What are the types? And absolutely, you have to see for yourself that you can only truly trust yourself. I'm very frustrating like that. There's degrees of trust, isn't there? But I think for something quite big like that, and I think there'll be a tipping point, like when that stigma goes enough, and you can see that they're kind of doing it at the minute, right? And it's interesting to watch the scientific community, because there's a few little cards fall down, and then like more like a particular genre of the scientific community will be like, I'm open to that now, where they weren't before. So like there's these little things, and then like, you know, oh, it's a whole big chunk that comes over to being, oh well, this is probably right. You know, just the other day hearing that I think it's the astrobiologists there, the ones that are looking at those distant exoplanets, and they're getting so many signals now that they believe are gases in the atmospheres of these distant planets there that are, as far as we know, only made by life, like as they are here on Earth there. So they think it's not scientifically proven because they can't get the quality of measurements needed to put the paper together to peer review it. But generally in that community, they're getting these detections, possible detections, so often that they're just like, it's going to be everywhere. So internally, that would bring the life in there. And these are steps. You know, the average person on the street doesn't even know, you know, that other forms of life are possible, let alone that they could be there, let alone that they're even on the planets in our solar system, let alone distant, far away. So once you start building up those things, and a big step of that was to say that, hey look, there was, by the looks of it, past life on Mars. That is actually quite a big one to really lock that in, you know, life outside of Earth. That's a big deal there. We do think that there is currently microbial life there, so that'll probably be the next step, that they'll have a confirmation that there is life. Probably simple life, but they'll get that one in, and then the public will go, oh, all right, okay, now I know that life can be on those distant planets there, or even maybe quite simple life within our solar system, and it warms up. It's less of a jump for people. So, and it kind of feels like they are laying those stepping stones for us to slowly walk down now. Faith, trust, and pixie dust. Oh, do you remember those? Were they called pixie sticks? The little plastic straws. I miss plastic straws with the crimped ends, and you'd squeeze them and they had sherbet in them. Or you trust them over any human. I feel it there, and I wrote it so I can imagine. I'll look more humanoid. So that's fine. I think. Yeah, okay, so we have seen them. I'm sorry, I was going back to with the conversation. I had to bring up that file. Yeah, so the trailer there. So they are in it. So they look like they're among us. They're very, very humanoid. I think it's going to be interesting. I wonder what lesson, like if we take this as, you know, this is the government there, and they're using, you know, the medium of film to seed an idea that they think or want us to have. They think we need to have, or they want us to have this one. So, not saying we have to take whatever it is that they're selling us, but if we look to say, well, what is it they're trying to sell us here? Now, there's a worker drone and commanded by higher power aliens, much like a lot of the humans. There's definitely a lot of worker drones I've come across, and I mean they can be controlled by mind control there, by higher powered aliens there. Ooh, that is interesting, Agent X. That I caught a theory the other night, and was it bicamerality, so bicameral minds there, and it was this theory that was put out that humans haven't always been as conscious as we are today, and in fact they think that if we go back to I think it was the late Bronze Age, they think that there's evidence actually that humans were less conscious, and there's more of a separation in the, you know, we talk about the hemispherical differences there, that there was such a separation in the mind that inner monologue that most of us have, because they weren't as self-aware and as conscious, they took that as literal gods. The gods are telling me to do this, the gods, and that was that influenced by the culture. And the theory posits that is how the human mind was structured. Because remember, the human mind is it's not literally software, but it works in a very similar way. How we understand things, how language works, we give each other programs like that. So it would make sense that we could be on the latest Apple software now. It's all smooth, it all works fine there. But you know, back then they were on Windows 98. You know, the operating system at the core of it. It does make sense to me there. But anyway, they posit that as civilization got more complex and we started working in larger groups, that didn't function as well. And therefore, the consciousness then kind of their way of working, their consciousness collapsed into this more unified, what we more experience now, with this to give more levels of self-awareness, more ego, idea of the individual in this sort of sense. And it's very interesting. I don't actually believe it, what they're saying there, but I thought it was a really interesting angle on how the human mind could be working. It's another one of those thought experiments there. And just as you were saying, Agent X, there about being controlled, I wonder, and these they posits that they were hearing that inner monologue there, and it was being taken as a god rather than oneself. Is there something? You sounded very similar to that one to me there. Not ones with total control, exactly there. And we as individuals, we do not have total control. We like to think of ourselves as fully conscious being. Every decision that we make, and it's ours there. It's not. It really, really isn't there as well. We are very, very emotionally led. We are a system of programs, and we program ourselves throughout our lives. And then the idea is that the more accurate these programs are, the more we can just run the programs rather than having to think, which is very calorie intensive there. But we are made of so many of these old programs there. They're not individually conscious decisions. Can't wait for the day they finally do admit aliens are real and see what religions do there. I mean, didn't the Catholic Church, they updated their brief to priests around the world? I think it was last year. It might have been. I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, but they literally updated their guidance to priests and whatnot around the world there on what their stance was, and how, well, God made the universe, they can make aliens too, I think was the gist of it there. So, and there are some religions which have not got inbuilt flexibility, so they will struggle with that. But anything that you are too rigid with, anything that you are dogmatic with, and we see this with science all of the time, that could not possibly be. And, well, are you sure about that? Actually, none of us used pixie sticks in drama games as recreational medicine. None of it at all. Wasn't it wonderful? Wasn't it wonderful? Wasn't it Wendell Stevens or George Knapp that said the Greys have to have chemical shower? Oh, I haven't heard that one. That is a new one to me. What was the chemical? And what was its purpose there? Was it a way of getting nutrients in there? And if I ever got abducted by mines there, would any of you believe me? Oh, good question, Rachel. Oh, I would have questions. Because I think I very much could, but I would have questions. If the abduction event, and this might not be writing things off at all, but like if it was I laid down to go to sleep and I had 2 bottles of wine, and then I had this experience which I don't think was in my head there, but I went there, versus if I was out in my garden stargazing and a craft lands, like that's easier for me than the other one, because there's a lot more potential errors around it. But like I could definitely be open to that. That's a good question. It really tests the friendship there. And Laura, how are you doing there? Imagine having an official government announcement that aliens are real. It sends shivers down your spine. Can you imagine the day? I've said before, I say it again, I want to go to the Area 51 S4 gift shop when there is what's the American equivalent of the National Trust? Do they have one? Or English Heritage, you go around to the old places, the old forts museums there. Can you go round? There'll be an old gentleman that used to work there in the active days who'll be telling you his story about it. Maybe it's old Bob. You can volunteer after he's retired there. But there'll be a gift shop with a selection of pencils and other things with Area 51 written on them. It'll happen at some point. They cleanse themselves as their bodies were toxic to your humans. That makes so much sense there, Agent X, because when we did one of our deep dives, the molecular biologist that claims to have worked with the Greys, they apparently part of their waste system isn't the same as ours. They excrete it all through the skin, and various chemicals to do that with and stuff there. So, and it ties in with like the Virginia incident there, with the smell that they witnessed and the infections that the police officer that died So that actually fits there. That makes quite a lot of sense, Agent X there. And I can believe it there. There are remains of it today. And the human-looking ones are meant to be more our allies. And if they're closer to us, it makes sense, is there? You know, I think all of this stuff comes back to, you know, like how similar your experience is with the next person there. The closer your experience is, the less arguments you are going to have. And it sounds silly, but it is true that if they look like us, you know, very similar there, means they're going to have more similar experiences. It's not 100% the equation, but it is part of it, and therefore we might be more on side for those there. I mean, just imagine, you know, if the reptilians there have got, you know, anything near reptile circulatory systems or the biology of reptiles here on Earth, again, that's going to be a very different experience to something that shares a version of our sort of respiratory system or our temperature. You know, they're going to want hotter environments, we're going to want cooler environments there. Immediately we're going to be arguing, we can't share a canteen, you know. So that is literally, I think, how it works there. Agent X coming in with the shares, and Pluto, thank you guys. I can astral travel into someone's mind there, and aliens can do more than we can. I've heard that as well, like bigger nodules on the brain or something that might help with that. And don't get me started on the Pope and the Catholics. That, to me, Agent, sounds like it's a very personal story there. Like you once had a run-in with the Pope there. Don't we started with the Pope, that Pope. Where are we? I know you all would have questions for me, but I don't think I would want her to come back. What are you saying about us, Rachel? What are you saying? It depends. Like, what if it's like really smelly on their starship and they can't smell it because they're aliens? You might be like, look, the views are lovely, lads, but you're making my eyes water. And Tommy, Agent X kicked my ass and dragged me in here. That's my story there, Tommy. I need evidence of that. Sorry, Tommy X. I'm going to wait for the two accounts to combine. And here's a plan. To take me to... I'll do a live past life regression. We do want to do something like that at one point there. And gone there. How you doing there? What are your thoughts on paranormal activities? So very, very interesting. There is an overlap, and I had more experiences in what I'd put towards that side of things than I had about the aliens. So doing the stream is actually to try and get some of those experiences there. I think the rules that govern one will govern t'other. There. It might not necessarily or literally mean that, you know, poltergeists or aliens or whatever the connection is like that. It might, what I mean is that, you know, the missing branch of physics that we haven't yet discovered, which, you know, goes, oh, that's how the aliens are doing this, that's how they can travel here, is probably also going to interact with the whatever is going on the spookier side of things as well. So yeah, I'm definitely very open to it. There's a good overlap of people. I think curious minds. It isn't 100%. There are some people that are just like, no, aliens make more sense there. And if you think about it as well, if you're talking about those steps of belief there, if you're starting from what the mainstream accepted understanding of all these things are, for me, it feels it's less of a reach for aliens, because we already know things live on planets, you know, like we know that that's real. But when it comes to the more paranormal, we don't have an established version of that. But surprisingly, it is the paranormal side of things is the larger interest base with it there. I'll be like, just let me stand this a selfie before you take me there. Yes, let me send. I'll send this. Oh my God, my eyes. Send this selfie before you take me to Magic Resource Printer Planet. What if Kate, that you're on your way and they turn around and they say, no, you were on Magic Resource Printer Planet, we're taking you to the other one now, and this was the good ride. Oh, shit. Got to upload it there, tag us in. And no erasure, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? Guys, if you are just joining us, we're doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. We're searching the stars, hoping to hear ET say hello, listening on the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise that if ET is out there, this is where we'd hear the message. We're having a bit of a chat in between times, a few messages behind, but do say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and give us a follow, because we do this every night. It's either this if it's cloudy, or we do a nice UFO, UAP skywatch when those skies are clear, hopefully tomorrow there. I'll be staring at the TV screen like believing and know are two different things. Knowing and believing are two different things, yes. I mean, I think the amount of I told you so's I would be sending, that's what I would be doing. I'll be throwing a party and inviting everybody that's questioning it there. If we get to Scotland, me and Tommy can do a UFO hunt. I think that is the team that we need there. It's the real Mulder and Scully. That's what we've all been craving. It just baffles me on how similar we look to the Nordics. Some of the ones, like you said, Nordics is a brilliant example there. It's a like for like. And for me, when it's especially like for like, there's no way that we're not directly related in some way. Just the chances of that are too high. I can kind of imagine, the odds are low, but imagine that, evolutionarily, similar pressures created a bipedal existence, therefore, blah, blah, blah. But when they are so similar, they were just a bit taller, or they're a little bit better looking than us. We've got to be related in some way, shape, or form there. Either we all come from the same place there, or something's gone on there. And what, Carl, there, if the greys that we all know are just grey spacesuits, and the real aliens are inside? Funnily enough, I've heard similar things a couple of times, that, there is like a film coating on them or something. It's not clothes as we'd understand it, but it is a sort of a protective layer, which gives them, and actually under it they are closer to our sort of skin colour. I've also heard of their eyes as well, that actually the big black eyes, they're actually our eyes, but they've just got these big full contact lenses that kind of protect it, because eyes are bigger, lets in more light. So that means that everything will be quite bright for them. So, you'd imagine that would work quite well for them, having their little protective contacts in. So it does fit, I think, to some degrees there. There is an element of plausibility. Have you ever seen one of the images of like the reported alien bodies, but that they've got the human eyes, they're just big, so they've had those lenses taken off. They look fucking weird. They're like, it really is a bit unsettling. I mean, a big dark-eyed is very unsettling, but also seeing the human eyes it makes it more real. It's weird. And come fly with me there 1 hour ago. So a dim object in polar trajectory there, way too fast for a satellite there, and a bit slow for a meteor. Oh, was there any coloration to it there, come fly with me? Because we saw something once, and exactly the same. It was, for us on the camera though, it came through as big, bright and orange, so kind of in the meteorite, but it was far too slow for a meteorite there. But it was, it would have been really fast for a satellite, especially of that size. Good a spot in there. Most of them aren't me. And so there's a psychologist on YouTube who did a regression tutorial. It's amazing. Oh, send us the link for that if you can find it. I'll be curious of that one. I wonder what the mechanics are of it there. And Nordics look immaculate, and their crafts. I mean, I don't think this to be true. So I'm going to put this out here now. I don't think this is true. But there is a handful of stories that some say that's what happened to the Nazis, but some also say that the Nordics were working with the Nazis for their advancement during the war. I think that's a bit loose. I think we're getting into the realms of fantasy, but yeah, I mean, if we're human, there's got to be a connection. And Nordic, it's all that sort of thing. Mind the Arcturians there, so I don't know what their hygiene would be like there. I'm not saying that. Maybe they just smell like, like people's houses have a smell, and you don't smell your own house because you're in it all the time. You kind of blend out. Maybe it's like that for the aliens. Maybe there and gone there. It's so annoying that the government can't confirm it when there is technology that kind of proves it. So it is frustrating, and it was really interesting, I think, because yeah, it is frustrating. You think there's a hell of a lot of evidence out there, a hell of a lot of evidence. And you add what I'm sure the government are keeping back, because they just keep normal shit back, so let alone stuff like this. It is incredibly frustrating. But I've heard this a few times. One was from the late, is it Nick Pope, isn't it? He's the one that passed recently. But the idea is that one of the reasons that they could have kept it a secret is, and I don't necessarily say this is true, but it does answer a good root of why. And one could just be that it's a secret too terrible to be told. You know, that whatever that answer is, it's fundamentally not shocking that the universe is a bit different, but it's not good, guys. And some of the ones we've heard are, you know, Prison Planet, Zoo Planet, maybe with their scientific experiment. And you know, if we get too angry, they'll end the experiment there. I mean, some people have also kind of done a version of that where it's not so much that they know the ultimate answer, but that they are just they don't have the answers. That okay, we know there are things. They appear to be coming from somewhere. It's an intelligent crime. We have no way to stop it. You know, if we need to, you know, a government won't announce itself as being totally defenseless then, because then it kind of loses its goodwill with the community there if it needs to defend itself or defend the people. So maybe they're not admitting to it until they know they've got a good answer, because that would be the first thing, wouldn't it? You know, people ask there, go, what do they want? They're going to invade us there, and what can we do about it? If they go, yeah, they're here, they're doing what they want, they squish a few cows, they pick up a few people every now and again, and you know what? That's tough. We can't do anything about it. They ain't going to do it there. And opt to work the biodome on their ship or something. No, you've got to go to the bad planet there, Kate. And Tommy there, did you see Congressman Bichette there confirming aliens are 100% here? Oh, no, I've heard a bit, but I don't think I saw... I've heard a bit from him, but I haven't seen that specific one. I've heard people talking about it, though. But there are so many people that say these sorts of things, you know, and they've got credentials, they've got experience. You know, you would have thought, wouldn't you, if we go back to the 90s, and especially when we all weren't as fully deep in this rabbit hole, maybe we'd seen a few interesting shows and read a few interesting books, and it was kind of more just tantalizing possibilities. If you had said, look, in the year 2026, a US congressman, not on his way out, will say aliens are 100% here, and also there'll be a proven, you know, person that worked in the UFO desk, you know, for the US government there, whose job it was to look into UFO, and if he comes out and says, yeah, he's seen loads of things, and the craft are here, and you know, you say that both two American presidents there have said aliens are real, and you know, we're going to look after the things, you'd go, wow, the future looks like we get confirmation, you know, like in my head back then, or not even that far back, I would have thought that would have been enough to tip the scales over into acceptance. But it's amazing how these things can persist there, and some have reported they have brown, green and blue eyes. I've heard about blue eyes with the more humanoid ones. The uncanny valley there is so weird. Oh, hold on, I've got it. No, I time I dick around with that, you won't see it. I did print one off, and it's on my wall, but I can't bother to go get it. That it is a bit weird. You've seen the, like, you know, the pupil, and there, and I found eyes a little overwhelming. Windows to the soul and all that, and that is so true. There, like, evolutionary speaking, 100%. The eyes of the person you're talking to, it gives so much information about really what they're thinking. That is, we said this the other day, it's why we have mostly white eyes, but with our iris and our pupil there, rather than like a lot of animals that are all just dark or mostly one colour there. We've evolved, because we work together so much, we've evolved to have this, so you can trust the other person more. You know, if you can see where they're looking, that tells you so much about what they're planning to do. So it allows you to be more trusting. So they do, and let alone any sort of other potential connection there may well be with that as well. Did you see the live where a ghost made a phone call? No, I don't do other lives, I'm slack. But ghost, I've heard, especially back in the day, there used to be a lot of ghostly phone calls. And come blimey, there was no colour to it there, sadly, but definitely never seen something like it before. Yeah, we've seen loads of satellites as a shooting stars there, and the closest thing we could pinch a portion hour to was a shooting star, but it was like no shooting star I'd ever seen before. It was purely circular. There's no tail to it. It was on the screen for far too long. It was going far too slow for a shooting star. It was too massive. You know, it was just weird. But what else? How do you take it to the next level there? Australian got abducted by the Nordics there, and he said the exact same thing there. They aren't nothing like the Nazis. There's a few, especially like the Admiral Byrd stuff as well. People talk about that connection there. For me, I don't fully lean it that way. There, and hell, they've even have Dundee caught on camera now. What? CJS, their Pokemon. Don't get me started on Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. And PM are there. I reckon we are just powerless to stop them. That could well be it. I mean, if there is a species that has obviously mastered technology enough to traverse these distances and survive, and still mostly not crash, although apparently quite a lot, when it gets here, they are just so far advanced. You know, it is a... You know, it's a penknife versus machine gun situation. You know, you've not got much chance unless you've got a lot of people there. It really is an interesting one. Which that could well be quite the problem there. And they just plunk people out of their beds there to experiment on them. I've heard it. And again, even if we take the morality out of it, like we take the way the malicious, you know, like they're doing it, you know, and it's going to be nasty and horrible. If we just imagine them as... You know, like, you know, our anthropologists and, you know, biologists stuff, they'll go around, they'll tag a deer, you know, they'll pick up some ants maybe for an experiment or something like that. All of that sort of thing. You know, if they're just doing it like that because they're curious about the things, we're just on the receiving end of it. That's also quite plausible to me. There might not be malice in it, but, you know, I mean, old, what was his name? David Attenborough. You see some of the things he got up to in his earlier explorations there, you know, and you go, oh, treating those animals like that. I'm glad it's not like that anymore. Super Mario. What was that there? And too late now, my selfie is in the Discord. Oh, you're gone now, yeah? You're on the on the ship there. Oh, let's have a look. I've got to think this is going to be funny. All that magical resource printing behind you there. What? Alan's purple. Right, Snake Eyes in, but he may be busy. Tommy Scotland's already in. Who's Snake Eyes? And oh, a friend speaks to ghosts and telekinesis. Oh, interesting there. It is. Another friend who can call in orbs as well. I'm not opposed to the idea of it there. And the ghost phone call was on a TV show and filmed live. Oh, you know what? Now, I've heard lots of stories of, you know, calls from the dead and all this sort of stuff. Some really interesting ones. But I've not heard of a live account being taken there. Where's Leanne there? I hope she hasn't left you unsupervised. Technically, yeah. She's all the way downstairs. Left all to my own devices. Not this weekend, yeah. Feeding the ark. All of the animals 2x2 there. Many Pokemons in deep space. Try doing your Pokemon Go on the moon there. And you see soul travelling and astral travelling as various types too. Makes sense. There, and you have a huge gazebo for the wedding after party thingy members. The VIP area. I'm trying to downsize there at the minute with this sort of stuff. Okay, do you know how expensive weddings are done now? Do you really need your family there? You know, yes, seems a bit excessive, you know. Do they have to eat, you know? The chinchilla spread, yeah, me and Pete want to. Leanne is too nervous. We've got 2 females now, and they're getting on a bit, so she's a bit nervous. We keep seeing every now and again, like the odd Mao locally that needs a home. We're like, we've got to get them. It'd be good. Get another one. It'd be cute, little babies. But Leanne's so worried about them being older and having babies. Oh, thank you there, Tommy. I appreciate that. Weddings aren't expensive if you book in a band and take tickets. Actually, yeah. I was going to say wedding, another zero goes onto it there. Well, we'll frame it as like a live event there. It'll be tax deductible with tickets there. Yes, yeah. Make a new coat after. They are soft. They are soft. Adorable, but grumpy as hell, the little muggers. I would have far too many of them. Oh, we've got loads in range now, right? So we've... Oh, so that's a close-ish by star there. It won't let me scroll down there, but we've got... So, Gina at 165 light years. Algarab at 87 light years. That's quite close. Karaz at 140. Pretty close again there. Minkar at 303 light years away. So there we go. But we're not seeing any change in the potential signals tonight there, sadly. They all, oh my god, they do. Their fur is so fine. I can feel it now. Okay, it's getting to me. Oh, it's just such a fine hair. It gets absolutely everywhere. And when it can't wait for the wedding invite there, we'll coordinate Alan costume. Now that appeals to me there. Wedding colours, green. It's ticketed. It'll be alive. I was winding people up when I was going to propose, and I kept joking. I said I'll live stream. Thought I was serious. Imagine you used to hide in my gym bag. Oh. Owls are grumpy. They don't like to be handled, which is frustrating because they are the cutest animals that have ever been made. I couldn't wear anything that makes me itch. Oh, it's just that their hair, because they're adorable, so you want to pick them up and you want to play with them and stuff like that, but their hair is so fine, it just goes there and just sticks to you like that. Like you have to, it's kind of like cat hair, it gets everywhere, because it's so fine, it's so tickly. It's like, oh, absolutely everywhere. Getting me distracted. Oh, sniff, yeah. Well, it does. You start hearing me sniff. It's normally because I've been near the, in fact, been near the chinchillas, got right on my nose. And Jason, I'm forking out 11 grand for my wedding in October. Wow, there, and that's before I book the honeymoon, and I've not even had a church wedding and all that here. It is insane, and congratulations there, Jason. Congratulations on that one. But yet, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. There is no way I can do anything like that. Might be cheaper if you just tell places it's not a wedding. Go, we're filming a wedding scene for an independent movie, and they might not charge you as much. It's bloody ridiculous. Flying saucer wedding hats. Eagles are fly on earth. What's that? Sounds like a beautiful song, doesn't it? There, Ruddy Eagles. Oh, Eagle. Yeah, well, I probably would. I mean, we did look at actually the who would be coming in an ideal world, and my side is looking incredibly small. So we might have to get some numbers from you guys. I don't. They look expensive. Gone. I can't get in my Batman suit anymore there, so I just come as Santa. Oh, mate, I feel that one. I have like 2 outfits now, and I refuse to buy any more. And they're all threadbare, because I used to have a very, very, very big family, and it was always the worry that, God, if you've got to invite one uncle, you've got to invite all of them, and you've got to invite all their kids, and all that sort of stuff. And that all changed. It was a very cold winter. We lost a lot. And now there's like, I don't know, 3 people on my side. It's like... And what's the honeymoon going to be there? Fancy holiday or terrified in a haunted hotel? Oh, Kate, that's not a bad idea. I've not even thought about that. Like, I don't want anything fancy. I'm quite traditional there. Like, for me, the point of a wedding is you're making a commitment to your peers, who are then going to hold you accountable, and for some people, for God as well, there. So for me, it's important to kind of do that part of it, but like reception, honeymoon, anything like that, I got no interest in, which Leanne is trying to whip me into shape for. Do you have a gladiator outfit? Oh, you better be attending in that then. At this point, I don't want to talk to them. Yeah, same. When I got married in 1992, it cost 30 grand. In 92. That's like 4 million today. I dread to think what it is now there. And if freed up, that's a lot of dowries there, Tommy. So a lot of, there's that visit board. And so sorry, I busted out laughing at that. You were serious. No, that's true. Tintagel, that's how I like it, yeah. Yeah, you gotta make, yeah, that's what it's for. So the rest of it, I'm not one for a party these days there. Already planning, I've not even come on. Hey, you gotta aim. At least you know what you're looking for then. I still have oh, you're on your way to the magic money printer land. Go. Oh, I've just seen your comments there. Don't get pregnant from one of them, Kate. You have an alien feral. There we go. I like that. That's that Kate always getting pregnant. Oh, and not in one of your books. I knew your books were spicy. I didn't know they were alien spicy though, Kate. That's hilarious. That gave me a good chuckle. Away from the pain of potential of course they're alien spicy. I mean, it could have been, I don't know, past life spicy. I don't know. You're multi-dimensional, like, Kate, there are lots of interests. I mean, I suppose, though, with the alien side of things there, you've got a lot of things to play with. I mean, probably quite literally as well, but, there's a lot of angles there. Oh, Harko, I didn't see your ones, Harko, until I had to read it on Discord, but Kate might have seen it. Alien spicy, like neuro spicy. Lots of sketchy interests. I can imagine that. Alien spicy is a good name for either a band or a restaurant. Oh, can you imagine the food? Guys, just thinking about this. Yeah, Kate wants her embassy. I want like an alien curry house. Oh, you know what, darling? I'm really fancying an Octorian. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, no, I'm really, I want to go down the low. Do you fancy a Zeta or something like that? Yeah. Can you imagine what that'd be? This part would probably marry a hybrid. I could see it. Alan says he's interested. No, he's hybrid Alan. Oh, it's almost one there, Harker. Yeah, I'm going to be coming off in a second anyway. So, but hopefully at Best Skywatch tomorrow night. You wrote that one too. I'm stealing your ideas there. Aftershave, the true alien there. Alan from Alan. Oh, there you go. We need to do a little aftershave, black and white aftershave commercial, but with Alan. What would it smell like? Is it sulfur and ammonia? Smell like an alien. It's getting me, guys. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna wind up. Sorry. Oh, I'm yawning too much. I'm not going to fight it no more. Anyway, guys, tomorrow night, hopefully a Skywatch, if the weather plays ball. If not, we'll be doing a bit of Kerbal. Mix things up a bit. But thank you for joining us again tonight there. Early honeymoon. No chance. But yeah, we'll be off tonight. But thank you for joining us. You're awesome as always. We'll catch you all tomorrow there, crew. And also, a man claimed that a UFO came down and they gave him an alien. But they did actually, yeah, somewhere in America as well, wasn't it? There, the alien, and apparently they tasted like crap. But yeah, they were cooking pancakes, and he kind of gestured to them, and they just went, "Yeah, some pancakes," which I think is really like. I was going to say human. It sounded quite believable in a weird way there as well. Gon, thank you for the follow. Hopefully you won't be gone for tomorrow. We'll see you then. Thank you for the follow, guys. Anyway, I'm going to catch you all later. You're awesome. And yeah, sleep well. Keep your eyes to the sky. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye, guys.